welcome back to another great episode of Tyro Swings TV. My name is Fab Poli, I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about the age of aircraft. And do older jets actually work? Now, as you know, we sell both private jets and commercial aircraft. And the question I always get asked is, oh no, I want an aircraft that's 3 or 4 years old, I don't want it too old. And people have got this thing in their heads, this bee in their bonnet about the fact that an aircraft has to be young. But now, let me ask you a question. How many times have you got on a British Airways or Lufthansa or Singapore Airlines flight, or before you even booked the flight, you rang the airline to say, excuse me, how old is the aeroplane flying to New York next week on a Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock? Have you ever asked that question? I bet you haven't. What you just do is you book your flight, you get on the airplane, and you don't even know how old the airplane is. And very often enough, these aircraft are maybe 20 years old, because the average age of most airliners out there is just over 20 years old. Not many people know this. But on the private jet front, it's the same thing. Now, what I'd like to let you know is the important thing on an aircraft is how the aircraft has been maintained and flown. These are two very important aspects, because you can take an aircraft that's a year or two old, fly it badly, maintain it badly, and guess what? It's in worse condition than a 10-year-old aeroplane. So that's one thing that you really need to look at. Okay. The other thing right now we've seen, in particular on the private jet market, there's been a decrease in prices, and there's more of these older private jets on the market. Also, the cost of fuel has come down. Now, where a lot of the times people would opt for a newer aircraft because the technology in these aircraft allows the aircraft to burn less fuel. So it's going to cost you less to operate. And then you've also got the warranty, which usually covers the aircraft in its first 5 years. Now, because the price of oil is down, okay, it costs less to operate these older aircraft. So the operating costs have come down tremendously. Now, the other thing, when you're looking at buying an older aircraft will work very nicely if you don't have to fly a high number of hours. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there that are going on and on about the fact that if you fly 200 hours a year, you should charter and you shouldn't own your own aircraft. But you know, there are benefits to owning your own aircraft. Now, just recently, we came out with a white paper called Are Private Jets Safe? The Inside Story. Now, if you'd like a copy of the white paper, I encourage you to go to our website, tyroswings.com, and send us an email and request a copy of the white paper, and you'll learn about the inside story and find out if the private jets are safe or not, because unfortunately in many cases they aren't, but there are ways of having a safe private jet operation, and that's what we explain in the white paper. Going back to the older private jet, so what I would say is you can go and buy maybe a 10-15-year-old jet, put a new interior into it, get some nice work done on the engines, or put some newer engines on them. And this is the same for an airliner. You can buy an older airliner. If you take, for example, people like Donald Trump, Mark Cuban, they're both billionaires. What they've done is they've gone out and they've bought Boeing 757s, older aircraft. They probably paid $10 to $12 million for the actual airplane. They put some newer engines on them and they've refurbished interior. They've taken the interior completely out, put a VVIP interior in there, brand new interior in there, okay? And they've given the aircraft a new paint job. So the aircraft looks new, it smells new, and it also behaves new. So this is what they've done. And these two people, Donald Trump and Mark Cuban, are billionaires. They could easily go to Boeing and buy a brand new airplane and with a brand new interior, etc., etc. But they didn't. They were wise. They went out there. They probably spent about $80 to $90 million on their aircraft once all the work had been done, between acquisition of the aircraft, having the interior design done, and the completion of the aircraft. So this is what you can do. So there's a lot you can do with an older aircraft. And now, because of the way the market is, it is a good time. But again, you've got to be careful what you buy. And then the other thing is, once you've bought the aircraft, you've got to be careful how the aircraft is maintained and how the aircraft is flown. So here you've got to basically choose some good pilots that know how to fly the aircraft and don't sort of treat it badly. Because this can cause and trigger a number of unscheduled maintenance issues, which you don't want. I mean, if you're going to buy a private jet, you want it available 24/7. This is the reason why you bought the jet in the first place. And then you want to have a good maintenance team, or choose a good maintenance company that's going to look after the aircraft. And when it does have a problem, or it goes in for scheduled maintenance, that the maintenance is done properly and you don't get some snag when you're down in some outback place where the aircraft suddenly can't fly. So that's all from me, from Fab Poli at Tyro Swings TV.